Welcome to the Friends of Zane Adams, aka FOZA Podcast, bringing awareness of postpartum depression, suicides, and the children who are left behind. We'll be spotlighting positive outcomes from mothers as well as healthcare experts and counselors. Would you know the signs of PPD? Would you know how to help a loved one? Stay tuned. As a community, we can do more to support maternal mental wellness.
Welcome, friends, family, and fans, to episode 45 of the FOZA Podcast for Maternal Mental Wellness. I'm Paulette Smith, bringing you information that we hope will help stop the stigma, the silence, the suicides, and the suffering that can accompany postpartum depression. I'm so glad that you're here. Especially, I want to welcome newcomers. Our viewership is growing thanks to you. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please do that and hit notifications as well so you'll know when we drop a new episode. Now, before proceeding, I want to say a few words about triggers. This is a safe place. However, we may discuss topics that can be sensitive and may act as a trigger for some of our members. The content we discuss serves to provide information, education, and advocacy only. If you're experiencing an emergency, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. That's 988. And if you're not experiencing an emergency, but you're still seeking consultation, please check with your doctor or professional caregivers. And if you feel as if your voice is still not being heard, please don't give up seeking help. Resources are available for you. Visit us online at FOZAinc.org. And we'll try to assist you in finding services in your local area. You're not required to provide us with any private or sensitive information. Well, in our last episode, we answered some questions that were submitted by our podcast audience related to postpartum issues beyond the 555. And just for newcomers to the podcast, the 555 stands for the first 5 days, the first 5 weeks, and the first 5 months in postpartum care. That conversation started in episode 43, and we received wonderful response, plus anticipation, because we didn't get to answer all of the questions in episode 44. So here I am today to continue answering questions, and I hope by the time I've shared this session with you, you'll understand why some of the questions needed their own podcast. So what was the original question that we left off with last time? What if I feel embarrassed or ashamed to discuss my feelings in postpartum? How can I overcome those feelings to get help? Well, let's get into it. I'll start by saying self-consciousness can be a natural feeling. The problem occurs when a mother's feelings of self-consciousness or embarrassment or fear of judgment, when those feelings might make her suffer in silence, needlessly suffer in silence. Because feeling embarrassed or ashamed or as if no one cares for you during a postpartum period, that can be really personal, and it can be painful as well. So many people have had the experience, and instead of speaking up or seeking help, they've withdrawn into a deeper isolation. And in postpartum period, well, those feelings can be particularly overwhelming. The tragic part is that much of the silence and the loneliness or the fear that's being caused comes from thinking you'll be judged by others, or the perception of appearing to be weak if you just ask for help. And all of that adds to the fear of rejection or the fear of being seen as needy. And none of us wants to be seen as needy. So here are some actions to consider for working through those feelings. Number 1, recognize that the feelings are common. That's a little bit difficult because we're each a unique individual. So we have a tendency to feel like what's happening to us is happening to us alone, especially if it's something new and it's something painful or it's something confusing, and all of the things that postpartum can bring, especially if you're slipping into anxiety. First thing to recognize is that these feelings are common. Yours are yours uniquely, but the feelings have been felt before. And postpartum can distort the feelings and make you feel unworthy or unsupported. But these emotions are a part of the mental health struggle that can sometimes come with PPD. So it's important to recognize that the feelings are common and that new mothers and birthing people can feel them, but there are resources available to help you through that period. Number two, you have to keep in mind that you are not alone. And that's something keep in your mind, but those around you, we're going to help reinforce that as well. As a matter of fact, Postpartum Support International, that is their slogan. You are not alone. And it is a true statement. You are not alone. They can help you find groups and circles that are sharing stories. And what good does stories do? Well, hearing the experience of others who are going through or who have recently gone through similar struggles, that can quickly let you know that you don't have to go alone and you're not alone. Now, you don't want to depend strictly on social media groups unless you're looking into groups that have a professional moderation. You want to look for professional groups or professionally led groups because they'll weed out the negativity, the judgment, and they'll be secure. So if you're not ready to go face to face with communicating your feelings, an online group can be a great way to hear what other people are thinking, get a feel for a professional way to go and get additional help, and to just feel better about the fact that you are not alone. Those are the three areas that we want to talk about in feelings and recognizing how common they are. Number one, it's okay to feel that way. Number two, that you're not alone. And number three, you want to look for professional groups or professional help when it comes to expressing yourself. Next, we want to talk about challenging the negative thoughts that you may have. And lots of people have them. They don't have them all the time, but they slip into their mind and they feel guilty about that. And it's just a big challenge. So the 3 points we want to make about challenging: number one, you want to name the feeling. You don't want to try to push it down or push it away. You want to ask yourself, what am I feeling that's stopping me from getting help? Is it embarrassment? Is it shame? Is it fear of losing something or losing someone? You wouldn't believe the sheer power you'll gain over your feelings by simply acknowledging what you're feeling and identifying what you're feeling. It is very powerful, and it's the first step in moving beyond having negative thoughts. Next, you want to reframe the thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking maybe something like, no one cares, or I should be able to handle this without asking for help, you want to reframe that and gently remind yourself that these are negative thoughts, and instead you want to tell yourself that you deserve support and that support is available and that you're going to get it and that you're not weak for asking for help. And then the most important, I believe, or one of the most important things that you actually have control of is self-compassion. Self-compassion. Because it's easy for negative thoughts to spiral. It's easy for them to crowd out positive thoughts. And you can get negative thoughts exacerbated by the fact that you are sleep deprived, you're exhausted, you have emotional turmoil going on, and you have societal pressures. All new mothers face some of those things. So developing a supportive and nurturing inner narrative of your own can be a profound way to combat negative thoughts. I want to be really clear here that the goal is not to ignore your emotions or ignore your feelings or act like they're not happening, but rather to develop a kinder, more balanced perspective. And when you're working with your medical team and your therapist, you will learn that you have control, more control than you ever thought you could take in creating a positive narrative on self-compassion that will help you reduce negativity and bring more positivity into your life. There are certain ways that you can actually use your mind, use your brain, use your time to shift negative thoughts and to embrace self-compassion thoughts, especially during the postpartum period, because you know where you are. You know that if you're feeling different, you know that it could be related to the fact that you're in postpartum. Here's just a few things that I'm talking about. If you have thoughts that are negative, you want to challenge them. Like if you're thinking, I'm not enough, you can challenge that thought with, you're doing your best, and that's enough. Of course, you have to have belief there, but it's true. You're doing your best, and that's enough. Number 2, you want to transform any thoughts that you have of, I'm a failure, into thoughts of you being a human being. You have limits. You're not a super person. You're a regular person who might, like I said, be sleep deprived, or you might just have had a long day. You might have had twins or triplets. You might have other small children, and you might have a full-time job. All kinds of things can be going on in your life. Doing your best is always going to be enough because it's your best. You want to replace any thoughts about I'm alone. And we talked about the fact that you are not alone, but you have to tell yourself, you have to know, you have to believe that you're not alone. And when you reach out, you will see that people care for you and there are resources available to help you. They are there. Number 4, you want to shift away from anything that makes you feel like you're not providing. You are providing. You're providing love, care, and support to your baby. That is wonderful. You are enough just as you are. Be strong in that. Especially if you have thoughts like, I should be better. I should be doing better. If you are physically or mentally under the care of your physician or your therapist, they will tell you your progress. You'll know your progress, especially if you are taking, if you've been diagnosed and you're taking medication. You would listen to the advice that they're giving you. You will follow the instructions and you will be doing the best that you can. Don't beat yourself up. Healing is a process and you don't need to rush it. You can take small steps every day and you will see your progress by simply taking small steps every day. And finally, if your thoughts are, well, I'm weak for feeling this way, I should be stronger, you want to change that narrative to, I am not weak. Asking for help is a sign of strength. Acknowledging my struggles is a sign of strength. You want to reassure yourself that you don't have to be strong all the time. And sticking with some of the self-compassion statements that you will bring into your mind, bring into your life, can help you get rid of the negative feelings. Can help you balance any feelings that you have of weakness. I can't emphasize this too much because every time I think of Christina, I simply believe had she been reinforced with self-compassion, her story may have been different. I can never stop bringing awareness to positive power of self-compassion. Anyone and everyone can have negative thoughts at some time, and no one is alone in that. You have to be kind to yourself because you're navigating a tough situation and many changes are occurring in your life all at once. The postpartum period can bring self-doubt. All by itself, it can bring self-doubt, and it can bring that feeling of aloneness and bring anxiety. And what we don't want it to bring, it can bring depression. Now add to that the physical, medical, spiritual, and mental challenges of life. And all that you can do is slow down and show yourself the same compassion you show a friend if you had a friend in a similar situation. Be a friend to yourself first. Hey there, FOZA family. This is a message especially for business owners. We're looking for partners and sponsors who believe as we do in the importance of maternal mental wellness. If your business or organization is passionate about making an impact in the mental health space, we'd love to collaborate with you. When you sponsor one of our podcasts, your business gets in front of a broad audience of listeners and viewers. So please visit us at fozainc.org/sponsors and learn how easy it is to support maternal mental wellness, grow your business, and strengthen your community at the same time. You could do this from wherever you are in the United States, so we hope to hear from you. I want to thank you as we continue to spread hope, raise awareness, and help families thrive. Now, back to the podcast. That takes us to some practical steps that you can take towards reaching out. First of all, you want to start with just what you need. Start with one person. If you feel isolated, reach out to just one person, whether it's your spouse, a friend, family member, therapist. Doesn't have to be a group of people. It can be as simple as a text message saying, I'm feeling down today, can we talk? You have someone, just one person in your life you can trust, there you go. And also you want to set realistic expectations. You don't have to fix everything at once, and you don't have to do everything at once. Especially I find this in my mothers who are sort of like perfectionists. Things are not going to be perfect, but they're going to be all right. When it comes to seeking professional help, you know that a therapist can help you work through feelings. They can help you work through feelings of shame and isolation. We always have other resources other than the podcast here that you can look into and start building yourself. We talked about that in prior podcasts. Start building your support system. Start building it before you get to your postpartum period. That way, you know that you'll have things in place. Even if you have no postpartum issues at all, then perhaps in the groups that you're in with moms and you learn of someone having an issue, and you're just sailing along, great, that's wonderful, but maybe you can share information anyway. When you build your support system, you'll be building it at your own pace. Once again, when it comes to online groups, you want to be thoughtful. You want to look at your needs. What do you need? What do you feel would bring you peace of mind and comfort? I've often recommended that moms get a new Gmail address, especially for your postpartum period or your early motherhood period, that all the information regarding that will come to you in that particular account. And it's free, doesn't cost anything, and you can stay better organized. You don't need anything to bring you more anxiety. You definitely can talk to other people who have moms, birthing people who have been there, been in your situation, but you don't want to make comparisons. Stories can be very strengthening. Stories can help you get over challenges, hearing other people's experience. You never want to compare because each person is so unique and individual. If your feelings of isolation stem from being disconnected from friends or family, you might want to try reconnecting, but you should never feel as if you are in some kind of rejection, because remember, you have your positive thoughts that you can always go to, and you are enough. You want to remember that. I want to talk about focusing on what you can control. Once again, self-care is crucial. Even small acts of self-care, like deep breathing, or a warm bath, or taking a walk if you can get away from the little one. We always talk about how you should reach out to resources to help you with other small children or with your baby, if just for 30 minutes. Don't hesitate in looking for ways that you can feel more grounded and in control of your life and of your emotions. Even 10 minutes a day can make a difference, especially if you're journaling, and especially if you have a daily routine. We know how difficult that can be with a little one and trying to get sleep and trying to get rest, but you're just doing the best you can. So you will do anything you can to not feel stuck, but also not feel as if you're bringing yourself to anxiety. Next, think about all of the things you can do to educate yourself so that you can normalize the experience, especially when you're getting help from your medical advisor or from your therapist. You'll know that some things you might be feeling, you know they're normal, but you'll know that they're also okay. It's okay to feel a certain way. And you won't have to feel the fear of, is something going on that is different and it's maybe negative, or maybe you can't control it, or maybe it's something that you need to be afraid of. You'll have the education that normalizes your experience to the point where you're understanding that this might be something to report to your doctor or to your healthcare team, and it could be something that you might just want to take a nap, see if you can get some time off to reduce any kind of activity that's going on around you. We say that it's okay to not be okay. When we say that, we don't mean that it's okay to not be okay. We mean it's okay to not be okay as long as you realize that healing takes time and that it doesn't happen overnight. So it's normal to have days when you're not feeling or managing very well. Give yourself grace, the essential positive thinking, putting any negative thoughts out of your mind. And if you get to the place where negative thoughts are just taking over, no matter what you try to do to control them, then that's a definite sign to get in contact with your medical team or with your therapist. There may be setbacks, but setbacks, you won't let them define you. If you have a difficult day or a difficult week, you're going to remember that it's part of the process, and that one setback doesn't erase all of the progress that you've made. Once again, you want to give yourself grace. So as a final thought, because we've pretty much thoroughly covered looking at the challenges that can come into your mind and trying to control those or trying to push those out, don't forget the website has 2 or 3 times more information on the same topic. We're just going over with the time that we had. So as a final thought, I want to say that reaching out to a professional, to a family member or a friend, you should see that as a courageous step and try not to be afraid to do that. It's something that will help you heal. And it's important to remember in your sessions of self-compassion that you remind yourself you are worthy of help. You deserve that. You and your baby and your family. There are many resources available to support you. So it's okay to feel the need for help. And it's okay to ask for help. When you do, you're showing incredible strength, not weakness. So please continue to share your feedback and join us for the next episode of the FOZA Podcast for Maternal Mental Wellness. Okay? Until next time, take care. and be kind to yourself. In loving memory of Christina LaShawn Thompson Adams. Bye-bye.